All right, let's talk about mortar. If you're prepping for the Aries, especially PPD or PDD, you know this stuff is going to be on there. And look, it seems kind of basic, right? But messing up mortar types is one of those easy ways to lose points. So today, we're going to nail this down for good. So, no warm-up, let's just dive right in with a question straight out of the ARE playbook. You've got a below-grade retaining wall. It's in a place with some really harsh frost conditions. So, what mortar type are you going to specify? Is it M, S, N, O, or K? Just think about it for a second. By the time we're done here, you won't even have to think. The answer will be second nature. Okay, before we even start talking about MS, N, or any of that, we have to get one thing straight. There is a golden rule for all masonry, and I mean all of it. It's actually super simple. The mortar works for the brick, okay? Not the other way around. The mortar serves the masoner. And this image just shows it perfectly. So on the left, you see what happens when you get it wrong. The mortar is actually stronger than the brick. So when the wall settles or moves, and trust me, every wall moves, all that stress goes right into the brick and snap. You get this big, ugly crack that's a real pain and expensive to fix. But now look at the right side. Here, the mortar is weaker. It's designed to be the weak link, so it cracks first, basically taking one for the team. It's a sacrificial layer that saves the much more expensive brick. This is what we want. So let me say it again because it's that important. The mortar must be weaker than the masonry.
Okay, so how in the world are you supposed to remember all these different types and what they do? You could make a million flashcards, or you could just learn this one little secret. It's a mnemonic that lines up all 5 types for you perfectly, from strongest to weakest. Ready? The magic phrase is mason work. That's it, just 2 words. Now, all you have to do is take every other letter starting from the M. So you get M, then S, then N, O, and K. And just like that, you have literally just listed all 5 mortar types, in order from the strongest to the weakest. Seriously, that's the whole trick. Now, let's dig into what that whole strength thing actually means. So this chart really lays it all out. As we go from left to right, following our MASONRY mnemonic, you can see that big blue bar. Compressive strength just plummets, right? Type M is a beast, and by the time you get to K, it's way down here. But look what happens to that orange line. As the strength goes down, the flexibility and, the workability for the masons goes way up. This is the constant balancing act you're playing. And it brings us right back to that golden rule, doesn't it? Stronger is not always better. All right, we've got our framework, we've got our mnemonic. So let's do a deep dive into each of these 5 types. We're just going to go right down the line, starting with the big one, type M.
First up, type M. I want you to think M for monster or massive. This stuff is the heavyweight champion clocking in at around 2,500 psi. That is some serious strength. Its whole purpose in life is to deal with the toughest conditions, usually below grade. So on the exam, if you see keywords like foundation, retaining wall, high loads, or severe frost, ding, 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 your brain should just scream type M. It's that straightforward.
Okay, next in line is type S. And you guessed it, S is for structural or strong. This is the absolute workhorse for your typical exterior load-bearing walls, but, and this is key, the ones that are above grade. It's got about 1,800 psi, which gives it this fantastic mix of compressive strength and what we call bond strength. That makes it really, really good at handling lateral loads, things like wind trying to push the wall over or seismic forces. So if the exam describes a structural wall on the outside of a building, type S is almost always going to be your guy.
All right, let's talk type N. N is just normal. It's your general purpose, everyday mortar. This is probably the one you'll see the most. We're talking about above-grade walls that aren't holding up the roof. So think of a classic brick veneer on a house. Its strength is down around 750 psi, which is totally fine for what it does. And that lower strength gives it more flexibility to protect those bricks. On the exam, if you see words like typical, general purpose, or veneer, type N is a super safe bet. Okay, now we're starting to get into the softer side of things with type O. And for this one, I want you to think O for old. Its strength is way down at about 350 psi, so its main job is for interior walls that aren't holding anything up. But its real specialty is restoration work on older buildings. See, if you have old, fragile brick, you need a mortar that's even softer to make sure you don't damage it. So if you see interior or historic restoration, your mind should start thinking about type O. And last but not least, we have type K. For K, just think, it's really kind to old bricks. This is by far the softest of the bunch. We're talking only about 75 psi. That's basically the strength of soft tofu.
Its one and only job is historic preservation for super, super delicate and soft old masonry. It's designed to be 100% sacrificial to protect something absolutely priceless. Now, you probably won't see this one on the ERE, but if you do, the context will be all about preserving extremely fragile historic materials.
Okay, so now you know the 5 types. That's great. But the ARE isn't just a knowledge test, right? It's about how you apply that knowledge under pressure. And that means knowing the traps they're going to set for you. So let's talk about the most common mistakes people make with mortar.
So here are the biggest traps to watch out for. Trap number 1, thinking stronger is better. We have absolutely crushed that myth by now, right? Remember the golden rule: mortar has to be weaker than the brick, period. But here's the biggest one, the one that gets everybody. You see the word exterior in the question and your brain just jumps to type M. Don't fall for it. Type M is for the nasty stuff below grade. If you're talking about an exterior wall above grade, you have to ask yourself one more question. Is it structural? If the answer is yes, you want type S. If the answer is no, you want type N. It's that simple. Phew, okay, that was a lot of information, I know. So let's pull it all together into one single, beautiful cheat sheet. Seriously, get your phone out. This is the slide you're going to want to save. And there you have it, the whole shebang, all in one place. You can see it all laid out. M, the monster, for below grade. S, for strong, handling those structural walls above grade. N, for normal, your everyday general-purpose sky. And of course, O and K, for the old and kind stuff used in historic work. It connects the type, the strength, where to use it. This is literally your entire mortar study guide right here. And just to really burn this into your brain forever, here is one last little memory trick for you. It's a sentence that puts it all together. Ready? M below ground, S stands strong, and normal walls. O old buildings, K keep museums alive. Just say that to yourself a few times. I promise you will never, ever get these mixed up again. So let's go all the way back to that first question. A below-grade retaining wall, severe frost conditions. What's the call? It's type M. Every single time. No hesitation, right? Look, you've totally mastered the code now. But the real test, the bigger question is, how are you going to take this technical stuff, this nitty-gritty knowledge, and use it to create buildings that really last? Buildings that aren't just built to code, but are resilient and beautiful for generations. Now that's what being an architect is all about.